What's up, everybody, and welcome to another video from yours truly, Jackson Johnson. And I'll be going over my predictions for the 2024 NFL season for Week 2. I've got pulled up is the first game, the Buffalo Bills circling the wagons against the Miami Dolphins. And I gotta tell you right now, this looks like a tight one to me. It feels like another battle in the AFC East. Josh Allen tends to do well in the month of September. And I got to be honest, I think he can get another win against the Dolphins. I think it's going to be a Buffalo Bills victory, 31-24. That's what I believe the final score will be. And then we start off Sunday with the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Cleveland Browns. And I got to be honest, the point spread is smaller than it should be. Honestly, it should be much bigger for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do not like where the Cleveland Browns are going. I mean, I know it's an overreaction to week 1, but still, though, Deshaun Watson is not where he was at the Houston Texans. He looks like a complete and total disaster. And the way I look at it, it's going to be a Jaguars 31-14 victory. And we got the Indianapolis Colts going up against the Green Bay Packers. And unfortunately, they are without Jordan Love for a few weeks at the least. At worst, it could be much longer than a few weeks, but we're going to wait and see what happens. Maybe the Packers can hold down the fort while Jordan Love is out recovering, or maybe not. I want to see the Packers win this one, but I'm just not seeing it. I feel like it's going to be close, but no cigar for Green Bay as Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts win this one 24-21. And then we got a snoozer of a game on CBS between the LA Chargers and the Carolina Panthers. And Jim Harbaugh has started off his tenure nicely in Los Angeles with a top-notch victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Right, but the Panthers, and I know a buddy of mine, Only Talk Sports, posted a video on how awful the Carolina Panthers are. Right now, it kind of feels like they're Charlie Brown at the pitcher's mound. Every time they throw a pitch gets them, clothes get all off, and they have to change back in their clothes 5 seconds. It's got to take 5 seconds for the Carolina Panthers. And right now, I would say Justin Herbert's going to pad his stats against Carolina in a 35-17 victory. And then we got the Raiders and the Ravens going against one another on CBS in a tenacious battle. Well, who am I kidding? It's not going to be a tenacious battle, unfortunately, for the Raiders. I mean, I love what Antonio Pierce is doing, but he may be auditioning for a full 2024 season. But I don't know. He's way better than Josh McDaniels. But as for the Ravens, they are looking to rebound from a close week 1 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's just looking like it's going to be a dominating victory by the Ravens. It's going to be a 38-21 victory. And then we got the New Orleans Saints going up against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the Saints beat the Panthers. Whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo. This isn't the Sean Payton, Drew Brees New Orleans Saints. Like, seriously, I'm supposed to sit there and be impressed? Really? And we got the Dallas Cowboys coming off a dominating victory over the Cleveland Browns. And it was Tom Brady's first game broadcasting on Fox. So that was pretty noble right there. And I don't really see where the Saints are going to get this one. I think it's going to be a dominating victory in the first half. And, Saints will score a couple touchdowns here and there, but that's it. Because it's going to be Dak Prescott and C to the D to the Lamb getting some touchdowns on New Orleans with a 35-21 victory. And then we got a snoozer of a game. How much are the Giants going to put up with Daniel Jones? That's going to be the question. Is Brian DeBall going to be the fall guy? That will be the question for the New York Giants. That is a huge question in the Meadowlands. But as of now, I don't think those questions will be asked. Maybe around like mid-October. I don't think they're going to be asked in September. More like mid to late October, they'll ask those questions, but that's it. But the Commanders with Jaden Daniels, I mean, they're getting their feet wet in the start of the 2024 season. And it's going to be a tight victory. It's going to be a 24-21 victory for the Washington Commanders on Fox. And it looks like we're going to see a top-notch game, but we're going to see whether the Titans can get the job done against the New York Jets. Although I will say it's not like going up against Sam Darnold Jets. Aaron Rodgers is back for a full season. It's going to be fun seeing what he could do against the Titans, which, I mean, I'll be honest, I think it's going to be a huge day. I mean, they're mad and they're not going to take it anymore. They're mad about that loss to the 49ers on Monday Night Football. But luckily for the New York Jets, this game is not on prime time, because if it was on prime time, they would be in trouble. I kind of feel like they have to really earn their primetime stats. I mean, I know you got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, but you still got to earn it. That's just my take on the Jets. But for the Titans, they blew a humongous lead against the Chicago Bears. And Caleb Williams didn't even do that much against the Titans. It was that Bears defense that put the fear of God into the Titans. And it's going to take some time to rebuild in Nashville. So I'm going to have to say the Jets rebound nicely with a 28-17 victory. And then we got the Seattle Seahawks going up against the New England Patriots in a, I don't want to say battle, but yeah, it just feels weird that Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick aren't coaching both these teams. I mean, I know it's week 2 of a new season, but it still just feels weird all the same. I mean, we got Mike McDaniel as the new head coach and Jared Mayo as the Nets head coach in New England. And the Patriots are coming off an amazing upset over the Cincinnati Bengals last week. And Seahawks are coming off a big victory over the Denver Broncos. What's Geno Smith going to do against the New England Patriots? Well, he's going to pad his stats against the New England Patriots in a 28-17 victory. And then we got the 49ers and the Vikings on CBS in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the U.S. Bank Stadium. And we're going to be seeing Brock Purdy and that whole 49ers bunch, except for Christian McCaffrey, because he's recovering from an Achilles injury. We don't know how long he's going to be out, but if I had to take a guess, it's going to be the whole season, I'm sure. But this is going to be a 49ers 35-21 victory. I don't think Justin Jefferson is going to do just enough against the 49ers. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It won't happen, unfortunately. I want to see it happen, but it just won't. That 49ers offense is too powerful for the Vikings defense. But we got an underrated matchup on Sunday between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from Baker Mayfield going up against the Detroit Lions on Fox at Ford Field. That's going to be an interesting game, seeing Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff go against one another. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens at this rematch of last year's NFC Divisional Playoff round. I don't know if the Buccaneers going to get this one. Not quite. But if it was at the Big Sombrero, maybe they would win against Detroit. I feel like Detroit could win it all. I mean, I know it's called it too early. But still, though, I'm loving what the Lions are bringing. It was an amazing victory that they had against the Rams on Sunday night last week. And I think they can get another top-notch victory again against Tampa Bay with a 31-21 victory. Then we got an early NFC West battle between the Rams and the Cardinals, although who am I kidding? It's really not. Cardinals, I don't think they're going to get the job done. They're going to be that team that finishes last in the division, obviously, but will it be enough to get a top 5 pick in the 2025 draft? I know that's too early of a question, but still, it's never too early for some people, especially people looking at the NFL draft. And I just don't think the Cardinals have what it takes to beat the Rams this week. I think Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay and the Rams, they're going to get it done in a 28-17 victory. The only thing is they're going to get under the spread, over under. And finally, for the rest of the Sunday afternoon slate, we've got the game of the week between Joe Burrow and the Bengals and Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I get it. The Bengals lost week 1. Oh, it's the end of the world. Life's going to be awful. Oh my God, we're going to run around circles screaming and crying. Well, guess what? That has not happened under Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Life isn't over because they lost week 1. That's not going to happen. I mean, that usually happens every year anyhow. Well, in the last few years, they lose week 1, week 2, bam, they rebound nicely for the rest of the season. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Now, if it was like week 11, week 12, they lost to the Patriots and they lost to the Cardinals, then okay, you can panic. But don't forget, Joe Burrow has an amazing record against the Chiefs. Matter of fact, he's got a winning record. I mean, the Bengals have a winning record under Joe Burrow at QB against the Kansas City Chiefs. Impossible, right? Well, somebody's got to tell Joe Cool that because they seem to do really well against KC. I know it sounds impossible, but it's really not. It's really not. Especially those that have watched the history of this game. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes in this decade is like the battle between Terry Bradshaw and Kenny Stabler of the 1970s. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning in the 2000s to 2015. I could go on and on and on until I'm blue in the face. But I'm going to tell you right now, I always look forward to watching this quarterback battle between Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. And, everybody's going to be there to see it. Fans, family, friends, Taylor Swift, her fans, the 40-year-old white woman that's crying tears of joy, wiping tears, just clapping, is going to be there. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is the game right here, especially if you are a top-notch NFL fan. You're not going to want to miss this. You're not going to want to miss Jamar Chase and Travis Kelce going against one another. This is going to be a shootout like it's been in years past. And don't worry, the Bengals are not going to miss the playoffs unless Burrow gets hurt again, unless there's like a lot of injuries. I don't foresee the Bengals missing the playoffs. I mean, a week 1 loss to the Patriots does not knock them out of the AFC North. That's just things you don't do. Nobody's going to bring their A game against the Patriots now, especially that Bill Belichick, Tom Brady isn't there. But everybody brings their A game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Bengals will always bring their A game. And what do I believe the final score will be? It's going to be a 28-24 victory for the Cincinnati Bengals on the road. And believe me, they can get the job done. It's going to get done. Believe me, it will. And then we got the Denver Broncos and the Pittsburgh Steelers going against one another in quite a toss-up. Now, Russell Wilson, I don't think he's going to be playing this week. So they're going to stick with Justin Fields. And so far, he's been all right, I guess. So we're going to wait and see what happens. But something that I always remember about the Steelers is that they play up and down to their opponents. when they were playing against a Kansas City Chiefs team or Baltimore Ravens or somebody that's a huge favorite in the NFL, you know they're going to play up to their opponents. But as for the Denver Broncos, this is a team that has not made it to the playoffs since 2015. The last time the Broncos made it to the playoffs, TikTok wasn't there. It wasn't there yet. Quentin Tarantino just released The Hateful Eight. He hadn't released Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet. But that's what we're going to see with the Denver Broncos, Pittsburgh Steelers. A tight battle, and I can't help but feel like that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to play down to their opponent, and it's going to cost them. And they do really well in September, I'm sure. Like there's like a record that I saw the other day that Mike Tomlin is 24-6 against rookie quarterbacks. And it's been this way since he's been the head coach at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, I think Bo Nick's going to bring his A game, and he's going to make Mike Tomlin's record 24-7 with a 17-14 victory. And I know that Caleb Williams is the savior of the Chicago Bears, but did you really have to put that on NBC? Like, seriously? Put that on Sunday night? I mean, I know you had to put something on, but that's going to be terrible. The Houston Texans are going to do awful things to the Chicago Bears. CJ Stroud is going to pad his stats against the Bears. He just will. And he's going to have his buddies with him, like, Stephon Diggs, who's recently acquired from a trade. And, you got Mr. Mixon at your corner. You got Collins. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I know that the Bears won last week, but as I stated with the Titans-Jets preview, the Bears got lucky because their defense. It wasn't Caleb Williams that saved day. It was the defense. They put the fear of God into the Titans. Do I think they're going to put the fear of God into CJ Stroud? No, they're not going against Will Levis. They're not going to. Nobody is going to put a scare into CJ Stroud. I doubt that's even going to happen. And I think Joe Mixon is going to run all over that Chicago Bears defense. I mean, this isn't the 85 Bears. This isn't the George Halas Bears. This is the, who knows what the Bears will look like, Chicago Bears, for 2024. Because it's going to be a 35-14 victory in Houston. And finally, we have the Eagles and the Falcons for Monday Night Football. And this one, Falcons, they don't know what the heck they're going to do for quarterback, I'm sure. I know they're sticking with Kirk Cousins for now, but I just foresee some issues coming up. There just will be. And as for the Eagles, they're coming off a huge victory over the Packers in Brazil. And they've had some nice rest. They've had a nice weekend last weekend. They've had a nice extra few days to prepare. But how many yards am I going to see Saquon Barkley have against that Falcons running defense? I'm going to say about 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're going to see A.J. Brown, the Rebel, get a touchdown because he's going to be panther quick and leather tough. He's bigger than push enough against the Falcons. We're going to see Mr. Smith go to the end zone, no doubt about it. And we're going to see another touchdown from Jalen Hurts. I'm going to say this game's going to get ugly. It may not be ugly in the first half, but in the second half, it's going to get ugly real quick as the Eagles will win 35-17 on Monday Night Football. I would hate to be the Falcons. I really would. because it just doesn't look good for Atlanta. It just doesn't. Because there's gonna be a lot of teams trying to figure things out in the NFC. I mean, there just will be. That's just how things look. But if you like content like this, check me out on Jackson Johnson 979 on YouTube, and you can also check me out on Jackson VOCFB on X, where I go over the latest updates on on episodes of the Jacksonian, the latest episodes on Crimson Tide Live on Alabama at the Voice College Football, and much more, like other videos, of course. And I also release these updates on Instagram and threads at Jackson Johnson 543908. You can also check me out on Alabama at the Voice College Football, where you can get some of the latest news and notes on Alabama football, and get the latest news on Alabama football. And all I can say is like, comment, subscribe to that channel. Let's get the 2,500 subs. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Oh, man. And you can also check out my latest episode of Crimson Tide Live, Wisconsin Week, with Ryan Herrings, the host of Locked On Badgers. And, of course, help me get to 500 subs, as I am 132 subs away. And again, like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so you never miss another video. As for me, y'all have an awesome day. Stay safe, stay cool, stay away from that heat.